All right. You didn't ask, but we are going to be
Tori.
Oh my gosh. Do I start over?
No, keep going. That's our intro.
That's our intro.
That's our intro.
You didn't ask, but we're going to be discussing 28 years later, the Bone Temple. La, 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 la. Yeah, man. This was a
Wait. Whoa. We got to introduce ourselves, you
I don't know how
fucking
this
idiot.
works.
Have you never done a podcast before?
I haven't.
This is the famous 20 fucking Jesus. Oh my god.
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about either, Jory.
Yeah, whatever. Go ahead.
All right,
Introduce
let's
yourself.
start.
Yeah, okay.
You didn't ask, but we are going to be discussing 28 years later, the Bone Temple. I'm Jory.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Tyler.
Okay.
I'm Samson.
Oh, yeah. That was your prosthetic. Down there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but obviously a sequel to 28 years later that came out last year.
Which is a sequel to
Got a bunch of
28 days
developments.
later.
Yes, of the whole 28 franchise, if that's what you want to call it. Got a bunch of developments in this movie from the characters that we saw in the first one. We saw some other things.
Yeah.
Some things. I won't go into detail of what those things are. I'll let you guys figure that out.
Not in the spoiler free.
But yeah, man, I said this to Tyler yesterday. I saw this on Friday. I said this to Tyler yesterday. I'll be surprised if there are, I think I said 10 movies. Honestly, I'll be surprised if there's 5 movies better than this one in 2026. That's how I view it. And I'm kind of surprised that I liked it as much as I did. I think I was going to like it more than 28 years later, but man, I was really just blown away by this movie, dude.
Yeah.
I loved the plot. I loved the acting. I loved the cinematography. I loved the sound. I loved so much about this movie, and I'm so excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were so many good things about it. I was really shocked too how much I liked it. I didn't know that this movie was going to be like better to me, that I was going to enjoy it more than I liked the first movie, because it's hard to go from a well-established movie like the first one into the second movie and then try to have, is that a spoiler to say that there's going to be more movies after this?
I don't think so. I think they said it was going to be a trilogy.
Yeah. Honestly, they set the bar really, really high going into the third movie of this trilogy. And if they can somehow end this the right way, this would be one of, if not my favorite zombie franchise.
Yeah. I was probably like in the minority. I loved 28 Years Later. It's the top 3 film of the year of 2025 for me. I think on rewatch, it might even climb up to number 2, number 1. I loved how that one like balanced both zombie and like coming of age. And so going into this one, I definitely did not know if it was going to hit from a different director, a direct sequel. Like sometimes sequels don't hit that high. And I came out of this like 28 inches in the air, like this movie fucking rocked. 28 Years Later is definitely 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple is definitely the best film of 2026. Now, granted, there's only one movie I've seen in the year, but it definitely holds the number 1 spot. What would you guys give 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple out of 10?
I said 8.5. And for those who know me, I'm very I guess critical when it comes to movie rankings and ratings and stuff. So to get an 8.5 is very good. Very, very good. I don't think I rated many movies that high last year. So
yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm about to agree with Jory on a movie rating. Like this crazy rating scale.
Jory's crazy rating scale.
At an 8.5 too.
Yeah. Fuck. I'm a little high. I'm giving it the same rating that I gave the first or 28 years later, which is a 9 out of 10 or a 4.5 out of 5. I loved it. I don't know which one I like better. I gotta rewatch them because they're so different. It just depends on what you're looking for. I will say with 28 years later, the Bone Temple, I felt in a specific scene a tension that I've never felt in a theater in so long. I actually felt like just cringing back and just like I just couldn't. I was like, oh my god, the feeling, the tension, and I know it's fake what we're seeing, but I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. Really, really great, and I just think that the way they develop and they stay true to what 28 years or 28 franchise is all about, which we'll talk about when we get into spoilers. But I guess the general way to say it is the 28 Days franchise has always been about humans. It's all been about how the humans are the monster, and that humans in a time of desperation and in a time of like no conformity and no blockage. I don't know what the word that I'm looking for here is. I sound like an absolute idiot trying to say what I'm trying to say. With no rules, but humans with no rules are terrifying, and every movie in the 28 franchise I think does that. So this one absolutely rocked.
Yeah. I actually rewatched 28 Years Later a couple of weeks ago. And I think for me, the biggest difference that I noticed was in that movie, 28 Years Later, it was more narratively driven, but it wasn't like progressing the plot forward as far as this movie did for me. I thought this movie, it was more of like a world building movie in the last movie where they were kind of setting stuff up. And this movie kind of took everything that they set up and just dialed it
Yeah.
up to 11.
Because the first movie, we say the first movie, we mean the prequel to this one. But Spike and his father, they start here, they go out, they come back, then they go out, and then they go out this way. So you never really know, like, because there's a lot of just world building things that are happening as we're figuring out this world again, and years later. So this one, like, it's just narrative. It's just like just steamrolling forward, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I'd say it's a lot more narratively focused.
Yeah, they drop like a lot of little nuggets or Easter eggs for how they're going to move forward in this movie. Like, not to really spoil anything, but you see Dr. Kelson and a lot of the characters that appear in this movie. Like Jimmy's name is written and carved into like a body that you see in the first film.
Yeah, they set them up.
And even just the ending of the last movie, you see all these guys in
Power Rangers.
Like Power Rangers, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't know what the tone of the movie is going to be, or if it's going to fit in with what you just watched through that movie. But after having seen it, they did a great job.
Yeah. Anyone who critiqued the Jimmy Colt appearing like the Power Rangers at the end of 28 Years Later, I'm telling you, watch the sequel, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, because it just shows how much they actually fit into this world. You just had to trust in them. Just trust. I think it pays off, because if you thought they were going to be like jokey or stupid or like, they were going to be, such like a thorn in this movie's side, they are downright terrifying. They're the most terrifying thing we have ever seen in this franchise.
Yeah, dude, like the brutality that comes with this, like Colt and Jimmy, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, I think, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. We gotta get the spoilers,
scene, man.
Okay, you know what? I'd say, all right, are you guys ready to just top the spoilers? Because I think we're at that point.
You got to get to the nitty gritty.
All right, we're talking spoilers for 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I'm assuming we're talking about the skinning alive scene.
Oh, yeah.
No, you weren't talking about that one? Oh my god! Oh my god! I was like, what scene? I was like, which other one? The spoiler for the 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. The skinning alive scene in the movie absolutely had me cringing in such tension and fear. I was like, and the best part about it is they cut out the music and it just screams and blood, and you just see their bodies and they're alive and they're moving, and it's like, oh shit. I was not prepared for that.
I think it was interesting that he kept calling it charity, like in the
Yeah.
turn, like this whole idea of like, I don't know. Obviously, charity is like a term for like a selfless, like kind of divine act, and they're literally like skinning humans alive and like forcing them to choose like how they want to die, basically, and it's insane, dude.
Yeah.
And I really loved like the like how Spike was able to, and his actor, I think he's Alfie Williams, like his ability to portray just like the constant state of fear and like wariness of like being a part of this. Like he never looked at any point during this movie like he was like,
Chill with it.
yeah, exactly. Like
He was
settled.
never settled. He was probably like, shit, I shouldn't have left my dad. God damn it.
Yeah,
Dude.
they really did a good job. Like a lot of horror movies, especially, rely a lot on jump scares and stuff to make you feel scared or connected to the movie. But the fear that you felt and the unsettled feelings that you saw during the movie came from the plot itself, which
Yeah.
I feel like you don't see a lot in horror movies.
Yeah.
And the charity skinning alive scene that we were just talking about, it's hard to watch, and it's supposed to be, and they did a great job with it.
Yeah.
The acting was phenomenal.
I think in horror movies, I find that the unsettling and disturbing, but not overly grotesque, the things that literally get under your skin or rip your skin off in this case, are the things that stick with me. Like I'm going to go to bed being like, oh my God, could you imagine? And the worst part is that, you're thinking about it, and in that moment you'd be pleading for your life. Just kill me, stop the pain. That's what they want. They want you to plead for your life. They're like literally doing this as charity for Saint Nick, and so they want you to hurt. And so there's no winning. And that's just such a terrifying concept. Like there's no winning in this. You are getting skinned alive, and either your winning is death sooner, or like I don't even know. You don't survive that. Like you can't just grow your skin back. Like
Yeah.
what do you do?
And like a lot of the decisions that the characters had to make, like that guy where Jimmy comes up to him and tells him choose between the charity or fighting another Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's like how do you rationalize that decision? It's such a hard one to make. No matter what, you feel like you're losing.
I honestly thought in that moment he was just gonna kill himself.
Yeah.
I thought he was just gonna go and just like take his own life. But I like how he went out. I like that he fucking
he like went guns blazing,
Yeah.
just tried burning the whole thing down.
Yeah.
But dude, I think Jimmy Crystal, the main Jack O'Connell character, I feel like there's like in movies those like sociopaths that are like super calm and like kind of unassuming. I feel like he did a really good job being like that, because I feel like that's more scary than like the really over the top, like exaggerated kind of sociopath that like just will do anything like with reckless abandon. Like he talks in like a really like calming way. Like he's sitting down at that house, like whether like eating breakfast or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's like kind of joking around, do the Teletubby dance,
Yeah.
and then he's like, oh yeah, but we're gonna kill you guys.
Yeah.
And then he just says it in like such a monotone voice, and it's like, geez, dude, like
And yeah, and he does that at the end too when he's talking with Dr. Kelson.
Yeah.
Kelser.
Mhm.
And he's like Kelson, and he's like, doctor's like, well, what are you gonna do if I don't accept? He's like, oh, I'll just rip your intestines out and
Yeah.
force feed you them until you die. And he's like, I think we could strike a deal, because he
Yeah,
knew.
yeah.
He's like, yeah, you're probably telling me the truth
he
there.
was like, I think I am in a little bit of a bind.
Yeah.
I was like,
Um,
oh my God.
But even
Yeah.
from like the first scene that we see like all the Jimmys or the fingers
Yeah.
together in that like was it like a pool
Yeah.
It's like fighting in,
deep, yeah.
where they make Spike fight another Jimmy and the guy's basically just bleeding out and
Dude.
they could help him and just everybody's like, yeah, that's not how we do things here.
Yeah,
Like, if
dude,
you're
that
in
scene was
trouble,
actually crazy too. I knew we were in for a fucking crazy ride in the beginning of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, when Spike kills the first Jimmy by stabbing him in the leg and just blood, and there's no music, there's nothing. It's just blood spewing on the ground in such a grotesque manner, and he's just pleading for his life, and it's like, holy crap! Like, yeah, I didn't even think that you could die if you hit an artery in your leg and you just bleed out, and he's pleading for his life. I was like, we are about to be in for a crazy ride. But
Yeah,
I
the way
agree
that
with you,
everybody
Jordan.
just stood and watched
Watched.
and no one helped them just kind of told you these guys really don't care about
No.
making sure anybody's all right.
I agree with you, Jory. I think Jimmy Crystal, Jack O'Connell's character in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, is one of the craziest, scariest villains I've seen in a movie in a long time. Like, this guy was terrifying, and Jack O'Connell just delivered a performance that's really, really good. I was terrified every time he was talking, like you said. And what is it? What is it saying? Like the devil wears like a suit and tie or something like that, or like the devil hides in plain sight, and like it's so unassuming, and it's like that's him. You know, he's gonna sweet talk you and then just be like, yeah, by the way, I'm like at that breakfast scene where he smashes his hand on the table. It's so jarring because he's so chill, and then he's not.
Or like even when he's like talking to like after like the skinning alive in the barn scene, the pregnant woman gets away, and he like tells Spike to go and chase her, and Spike obviously isn't, you know, in this mindset to kill this woman, comes back and he's like, how did you let her get away, basically? And it was just like his tone talking to him, it's like crazy. He's like not even thinking, like, and there's zero compassion from him, like at all. Like there's no
He doesn't have any.
reason at all as to why it could like rationalize Spike letting this woman get away.
No,
But
he
even
really
like the way
was.
he spoke to Spike, where he
Yeah.
was like, you should show some initiative. Like, why didn't you
Yeah.
bring me
Her face,
Her head
yeah.
is-
off
Yeah.
or her dead unborn child or something?
Yeah.
It's like, this guy is a horrible human being.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The 28 Days franchise is so good at making you fear the humans. In the first one, you know, the military is like, well, I promised them, you know, women. And then in 28 years later, Spike basically learns that humans are flawed and that his dad is a flawed person, and that, you know, people were saying that Dr. Kelson was, you know, a monster, and that he's not, and that people are just like, they're flawed. There's a lot of layers to them. And I think this is that to the extreme, where we just get to see how terrible humans can be, and how in situations they can just absolutely be the worst monsters, because they can actually rationalize things. They can think through things. You will never know their next step. Well, the infected, you'll know that if you step on a twig, they're going to come run at you. Yeah. You don't know what Jimmy's going to do. He might do a fucking 10 flips before getting to you, and then, you know, slash your Achilles heel so that you're falling on the ground, and then he could rip open your intestines or something, you know, like.
Oh.
In
I was-
28 years later, the Bone Temple, do you guys think you would have been able to trust Spike when he said, take me with you to the woman by the gate? Or would you have punched him in the stomach and got that guy out of there?
Dude,
too?
that was kind of sad, honestly. Like,
Hell no, I wouldn't have trusted him.
Yeah.
I don't know any different. You're just seeing they all look the same. I would have been like, get the fuck out of here. I would have killed him probably.
Yeah.
you
It's a tough choice because, like, you see her, like, as a mother, like, trying to protect her child and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, you see this little kid that clearly was not on, like, the same, like, page
Level.
with, like, a lot of what was going on. You see him outside throwing up. Like, he wasn't
But
in
at the same time,
Like,
the
he
guy
was
in the
connected.
barn, the guy in the barn picked the girl because he thought she was weaker and not as in tune, and she might have been one of the craziest ones. Where she's like, "Yeah, these guys would have just killed you. I'm gonna literally skin your dick alive." Like,
know?
Yeah.
Gosh, dude.
It's a tough decision. Where do you think she went?
that's what they're saying. Do you think that the pregnant woman from the barn 28 years later, the Bone Temple, is gonna come back in the sequel? I think
do.
she is. I think
I
she
think
is.
she's going to be there.
I think what's going to happen is, which we'll talk about the ending later, but where Spike ends up, I think eventually she will end up crossing paths with the new group, and she's going to call them out and be like, dude, they're demonic. Like, they just like killed my entire family and skinned them alive. And then the group at the end is going to have to like decide like who's telling the truth, what's happening, what's not happening. I don't think they just let her go just to let her go. I think she's going to come back. She might not, but I think she might.
No, I think she disappeared without a trace for a reason. I think she's coming back.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, Jory?
Yeah, I don't know. I could see that. That would make a lot of sense as like a plot, you know, and for the third movie, like you said, we'll talk about what that group looks like. But I wanted to talk about, like, because you guys mentioned the opening scene with, you know, the fingers all like doing this like death match to see which one is going to stay and which one is not. When it first started, I was like, damn, they're just like jumping right into this, like no build up at all to any conflict. Like someone dies within the first like 5 minutes of this movie. It's like crazy. And I kind of was like, I didn't know how to feel about it at first, but I really like that they didn't waste any time getting into it because it's like we don't really need any build up. We know like who these characters are for the most part. Like we obviously don't know Jimmy's cult and like their individual members and everything, but like it becomes pretty clear like what they stand for like pretty early on. So like it's not like we need to know like their backstories for everyone. We know who Spike is, and then it transitions to the story of Kelson and Samson, which well, we haven't even talked about that yet.
No,
But
there's so much to talk about.
Yeah,
but like
there's a lot to
it's-
break down there.
I don't know. I think it was actually like paced really well. Like I thought,
Yeah.
I thought at first I was like, damn, they're just moving like really quickly, but I actually really liked it.
It's funny because I actually agree with you. And usually all the 28 years later, or the 28 days later movies usually start with some big action moment that involves the zombies or the infected. So I was really thrown off when it wasn't. It was the Jimmy cult. And I was like, huh, like, damn, like we're starting right into this. We're getting right into the Jimmy cult. And at first I was like, okay, they're cool, but I'm really like into this infected plot line. And I was pretty terrified of them at first. I was like, okay, they're pretty crazy, whatever. And then we transitioned to the Doctor and Samson, and we get a good chunk with them. And it's like great because that's like what you're going there for. You're seeing that. That's what we're going for. And then we cut back to the absolute madness that is the Jimmy Cole. And I think it was just paced really well of like giving you a hint of what the movie's going to be about, giving you the sequel to what you were watching from the first one, and then going back and seeing both these things combine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely thought the dynamic between Dr. Kelson and Samson was one of the coolest parts about the film. Seeing Dr. Kelson's character development and then also Samson's, like through his own lens of how the virus seems like it's affecting him versus just like how he kind of develops. And by the end of the movie, obviously, he's not in the same kind of headspace that he was at the start of it.
Yeah.
But just seeing Dr. Kelson and him outside dancing was pretty awesome.
Dude, the Dr. Kelson and Samson scenes in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple were so amazing. I was laughing, but in a good way. It didn't feel out of place whatsoever. It felt perfectly in character. It felt perfectly like in tune with what the movie is and this world is. It was so good. I did not expect to see a bromance between gigantic naked fucking horse dong 28 boners later infected and Voldemort. Like that was great. I loved that bromance that Dr. Kelson and Samson had. It was great. And I loved one of the main things I noticed in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, is that as we see the Jimmy cult humans devolving into being pure evil monsters, we're seeing the monsters become humans again and gain their humanity back. So as humans go down, monsters go up. And it was just, I loved that dichotomy.
Yeah, that's exactly the word I was going to use. The economy, like, I thought that was so well done, like with the difference between Jimmy's cult and Jimmy specifically, like being a representation of Satan, and then Dr. Kelson basically being a representation of God, or like just the idea of like giving someone life or giving someone love.
Oh, I didn't
Like,
think about
having,
that. That's
like-
crazy. Yeah, what?
Like giving someone like order in their life versus, you know, Jimmy, who's literally like by the end of the movie was trying to manipulate his cult into like believing or making them believe that he is like he can do no wrong and everything.
Well, he even
says
said at the
is
end,
true.
they're like, "Who's Saint Nick?" And he's like, "I am." Like,
Yeah.
like at a certain point, like, yeah, he's not the Saint Nick that they were thinking of, but in our view, he is. You can
But I
get
really
no
like-
worse than him.
I thought it was cool the conversation that Kelson had with Jimmy Crystal, where he basically is like, yeah, I know you're not Satan, but that's not going to work for me because I still need to manipulate the rest of this crew
Yes.
into allowing me to be the cult leader that I've been to them. So you're going to have to figure something else out.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I guess if my life's on the line, I have to do it.
Yeah. I loved two things. In the scene where Jimmy and Dr. Kelson talk in 20 Years Later, The Bone Temple, there's a couple of really great writing things, which you just mentioned, Spencer, which is like Jimmy, besides like kind of that jokey but realistic thing where he's like, oh, I'll just kill you and, you know, shove your intestines down your throat. Through talking, we know that Dr. Kelson kind of gets a vibe. He's like, yeah, I know you are messed up in the head. So he knows how to tread lightly with this and everything. And Jack O'Connell and Ralph Fiennes, they were absolutely amazing. And I just loved seeing that. And it's kind of like a thing where it's like, you know, hey, we don't align in our views, but we could get along together. Oh, never mind, we can't get along together. But the main thing is like 20 years later, the Bone Temple really, really hits home about blind following of leaders. Like if you just blindly follow people, they're gonna manipulate you. They're gonna just do it for their betterment and their good and their views. And this shows like just blind following leaders, no matter if it's religion, it's politics, it's anything, your small group of friends, like it doesn't matter. Like blind leadership or blind following of a leader is just absolutely negative.
Or even just like the difference of like leadership through fear, and then like leadership through respect. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like with Jimmy, obviously, like the only reason, or it feels like the only reason that like he has this following is because you don't know what he would do to you if you said no.
Yeah.
Versus like,
And also the
with
fear
Kelsey-
of that he talks to Saint Nick, so it's like, oh, they
Yeah.
believe that he's talking to Saint Nick, so Saint Nick is gonna tell him to skin me alive, and I'm gonna have to let him do it.
And then like Dr. Kelson, on the other hand, is like literally like allowing this alpha infected to like become like within like inches of him, just to like try and figure out a cure to this virus. It's like the difference between it was incredible, dude.
Yeah, I thought the levels to it were insane too. Because in the first movie, obviously they tell us that the rest of the world has been cut off completely from and detached themselves from this area. They've given up on trying to solve the virus or do any of that. And then you have Dr. Kelson still trying to
Yeah.
see if there's anything that can be done about it. Then they did the characterization of Jimmy and showed us his backstory in the first movie, and they didn't really play around with going back and revisiting all that outside of the one conversation between him and Kelson that really did give you a lot of information on like how this guy thinks, like who he is as a person. They didn't really need to just like constantly show us like flashbacks or
Yeah.
anything. Like they understood, you've seen how this guy acts. He's a bad person.
Yep. Yeah, I really liked how he talked about hiding in the church. Yeah, he became a Satanist. And how he was like, I saw a little humanity kind of break through when he was like, yeah, if my mom and sister just hid with me, they'd be alive. I wonder if he almost like growing up next to the church and hiding in the church, I wonder if like that pushed him towards being a Satanist, where he's like, you know, he grew up around it. It's like, why didn't you save them? Why didn't you save them? Type of thing. But I like the fact that you said, Spencer, like we don't get flashbacks. We don't have to revisit the scene we already saw in the first movie. It's just like pure characterization that lets us understand, well, or not understand where Jimmy's coming from. Because at a certain point, it's like, no, you are just fucked up, bro. You're just fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, I love the fact that they brought the Teletubbies, where he's like, do the Teletubbies dance. And I was like, dude, this is great. This is terrifying.
It would
Like-
be scary. The whole time I was just thinking, like, imagine if you have absolutely no background knowledge of who the Teletubbies are or what they do, and you just have this like random stranger who's clearly like not in his right mind, telling people to stand up and do like the Teletubby dance while everybody else is on edge. You would have no idea what that guy was going to do next.
Yeah.
I loved the moment where the people from the barn that the Jimmy's skin alive. I like that moment where they're out like hunting, and that one guy like tries to kill one of the infected, and it kind of just shows again like there's a difference in this world in particular of people who understand that there's humanity and even these infected, and the other two were like, no, just leave it, and he's like, we gotta kill it, and he goes to kill it, and he ends up paying the price. And it's like, you know, yeah, they might look different, they might act different than us, you know, obviously they're infected, but like you don't have to go around just murdering them if you don't have to. See the humanity in them, and that guy pays the price for it. And that his death scene or his infecting scene was crazy. The blood, guts, and puking and everything. That's just so. That's like 28 years later. That's 28 days later, right there.
Mm-hmm.
It did make me kind of wonder why, like, after all the time that the virus has existed, why more people don't have like goggles or something while they're fighting to try to cover up some of the I guess openings on their body because it
That's
can
true.
infect you through like anything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Probably hard
know.
to find.
Yeah. You know, it's always funny. Like when I'm watching 20 Years Later, The Bone Temple, I'm constantly just thinking of like across the sea. There's people just probably playing like Smash Bros or something. As these people are like fighting for their life in like a post-apocalyptic, and like over the sea, the people are just like chilling, like probably at a coffee shop. Like that's crazy too. I love that. I love that they don't like harp on that and show like people in America or something like. But it's like thinking about like how in this world, in this timeline, they just gave up. They just gave up on these people. Just like, yeah, whatever, fuck it.
Yeah, people overseas are playing Arc Raiders and they're really in an
Arc
apocalypse.
Raiders.
Yeah.
Rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool. We're trying out Deadpool.
I will say though, the when they were all in like the guy's house and they're making breakfast or whatever and they're all sitting at the table and then Jimmy basically declares like, oh yeah, we're gonna kill you, and then like the fight breaks out. That first dude who was like on the stove with the boiling hot water, that was one of the worst throws I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
He hit nobody. He
No,
literally hit nobody. I'm like,
if anything,
how
he'd probably hit his own family, not
Like,
Jimmy. Like
That was
Jimmy's
a
right
Jimmy
there, just
throw.
pouring him. Yeah,
did you
yeah.
miss?
Yeah, that's a
missed
Jordan type
everything.
of.
A
That's like
Joey
you.
Mickens air ball.
Guy
Yeah.
missed everything. I was like,
And literally, Jimmy was sitting right there. All he had to do was pour the water on his head.
Literally.
liability.
Yeah,
Dead. So
yeah. I liked how that one the girl the pregnant woman like clocked him immediately. He was like, all right, I'm not playing these shenanigans. You
Yeah.
know you're not welcome here. You're gonna kill us or you're gonna leave. And he's like, oh yeah, totally gonna leave after we skin you alive and kill you.
The guy with the pot had the right idea, but horrible execution.
Yeah, horrible execution. Horrible. Was he the one? No, he got skinned alive. Yeah, he got skinned alive.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I think. What would you rather? Would you rather be infected in 20 years later or die by like the Jimmy cult?
I mean, depends if I get to be Samson or not. Like, if Dr.
Yeah,
Kelson's gonna cure me, then
No,
Yeah.
you're not an alpha. You're actually one of those like crawling baby ones.
okay.
Yeah. Those weren't shown in this movie. I was surprised they weren't.
No, he actually didn't.
Oh yeah, wait. Also, what happened? Wasn't there a baby born in the last one? What happened to the baby in 28 years later?
There's a lot of unanswered questions
Oh,
with
that's
what
right.
happened with Spike's like home.
Oh wait, he left it at home. That's where it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, and we never saw home. I was trying to remember. I was like, where did the baby end up? He's at home. I forgot. He's at. I was surprised. Aaron Taylor Johnson did not show up in this one.
No, he wasn't there. I actually thought the first guy that they showed was supposed to be him at first. He was like super
Yes.
on here, like he's
Yes.
been out there for a while. But then how fast they got rid of him, I was like, nah, that couldn't have been.
Nah. I think they didn't show him. I think not showing Aaron Taylor Johnson's character and Spike's home village was perfect for the sequel. I think it would have. There have been too much happening in this one movie.
Yeah, too many plot lines.
Yeah. I think it'll come back in the third one though. I think it's gonna come back. It has to.
Yeah.
I think they got a tall order in front of them though, making this third movie good or
Yeah.
better than the other two at this point.
Yeah.
Like they got a lot of stuff that they're trying to wrap up and new
But-
characters too that they're trying to introduce.
But unlike Stranger Things, it seems like they actually have this planned out and wrote out. So they know where it's all going and they're not just making it up on the fly. Yeah, I'm really excited. But we haven't really talked about Samson. And I was not expecting Samson to be as big of a plot point as he was. I thought he was just going to be some crazy villain, just infected villain. And what did you guys think? What did you guys think of Samson in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, and his 28 inches?
Ah, I mean, dude, I love the scene. Well, okay, so obviously the whole story between Kelson and Samson now is that they're trying to find a cure for the infection. But like, I don't know, the scenes between those two, like you said, like the bromance that they had was just like honestly so beautiful to watch. But I thought even what was more great was just like watching him kind of like slowly overcome, like gradually overcome like this infection as he was using like the morphine.
To basically calm the rage is what was happening.
Exactly. Like he would like go over to like a river and like put his hand in water and like
Yes.
feel what water is again, or like he could like listen to the sounds of like the leaves rustling or the wind blowing and stuff. Like it wasn't like it's constant rage, like you said.
Yes.
I thought that was like so cool how they did it, and it wasn't just like an immediate like switch that flipped
Yeah.
in his mind.
Yeah.
It was a great moment where he eats a berry. They show him eating a fucking brain in the beginning, and then he eats a berry, and then he wipes it on his cloth. And I was like, Samson wouldn't care about cleaning his hands, but he's becoming human again, where he's like, and something so small, you might overlook it, but it's the humanity just slowly coming into him. Yeah.
Or like when he's sitting next to Kelson and it's raining and you see him kind of turn his hand over and let the rain like hit him in the palm, like he's noticing everything that's going on like a different level.
Yeah.
Or even like when he sees Kelson and he like would come closer to him when he put the stick down versus like had it up to shoot him. Like you could tell that he was like processing information on like a different level than a lot of the other non-alpha zombies were capable of.
I'm curious though, is it only an alpha zombie thing that will allow him to overcome the virus, or every infected? I'm not sure.
I also have the question of, is he now like immune to the virus?
Yeah, I think he is.
I feel like he is.
Because
they showed...
Yeah, because he had the whole train scene.
Yeah.
Where he goes through like 20 zombies.
We gotta talk about the train scene.
Yeah.
Dude, what is this guy on?
Well, because they even show he gets like blood in his face
bit,
and stuff.
Yeah,
and he gets bit and he comes out alive. So he's basically immune. Well, we don't know if it's long lasting, if it's going to come back, or if he's immune to it. But basically, I think the way that I took the ending of 28 Years Later, the Bone Temple with Samson, is that he's immune to the rage, but not all the other good side effects. So he's basically the Hulk without the rage. Like he's basically Professor Hulk now. Like Samson is a better Professor Hulk than Professor Hulk. Like let's talk about that. The train scene at the ending of 28 Years Later, the Bone Temple with Samson. I was like, it's one of those moments where you just start like laughing because it's so awesome. You're like, holy shit. What are we watching, guys? He's ripping through. He snaps that one in half.
Yeah. But even before that, like the flashback scene, because that's like the only kind of bit of information that we get about Samson or who he was as a person, I guess, before the virus and stuff had infected him. And you just get that kind of like light switch moment where the train attendant goes from being non-infected to infected, and you're just immediately brought back into this world, and you see all these different infected, and he's just like, I know exactly what I have to do.
Yeah. I also like it that they showed him reading the moon. So it's like, and him looking at the moon that one night was like almost like the inner child in him, the inner human being like, come on. You know it. What is it? It's moon. And it reminds him of like, obviously all that. So I think that was really cool.
Right before he literally was about to get killed basically by Dr. Kelson.
Yeah.
Like moon. Like
I did think about that. That guy Kelson was offering up death to anybody that might want it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. You walk into Dr. Kelson's camp, you're not coming out alive.
Spend a day with that guy. He's gonna offer you a free trip out of there. Like, goodness, man.
Guy's like, yeah, I searched 70-mile radius and I found every
drop of morphine.
I love that guy was just getting. I love that he was getting high with Samson, Dr. Kelson, and him just like dancing around.
Yeah,
dude. Wait. We got to talk about Dr. Kelson's absolutely banger metal performance at the ending of 28 Years Later, the Bone Temple. I was like, this is metal as fuck. And this is awesome. This is just great. He knew exactly who was walking into his camp, and he knew I got it. And I love how he's like, yeah, let's give him a show.
Yeah. What a show. I'm about to get you one for the ages.
Mm-hmm. No, dude, I mean, imagine being like Jimmy's cult and walking in and, you know, you have this whole idea in your mind that is actually Satan, and you see this guy and like, oh, dude, that was...
And the fight... Well, first of all, if I just saw that Bone Temple, I'd be like, yeah!
Yeah.
And then everything else on top of it would have definitely sold me. Why I have an idea of it, but I want to see what you guys think. Why did Spike not take his mask off at the ending of 20 Years Later, the Bone Temple, when he met Dr. Kelson?
I don't think he wanted Dr. Kelson to know that he was a part of any of that. Like,
yeah, that's
after all the horrible things that they had all been doing, I don't think he really wanted to be connected to them at all. And we
Yeah.
kind of see him attempt to distance himself a few times from the Jimmy cult. And almost every single time he's brought back either by the one woman or by just the fear of Jimmy Crystal
Yeah.
that he feels like he can't get away.
Yeah, I took it that that's interesting. I didn't think about that too, but that is probably true. I took it that he didn't want, basically, he knew that if he took his mask off, Dr. Kelson would recognize him and give up. Like Dr. Kelson would give up that he's not Satan. And then the Jimmy Colt would kill him and skin him. And he was like, basically, he was protecting his identity in order to protect Dr. Kelson. Because if Dr. Kelson gave up any indication that he wasn't Satan, he was going to end up like the people at the barn. And that's why he was like at the end when Dr. Kelson dies, he's like, we're about to leave. You didn't have to do that. Because he's like, he just wanted to make sure he was safe. Like he couldn't imagine losing Dr. Kelson. And he did.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. I feel like I thought the way that this was gonna end, I don't know. I thought it was gonna be like Jimmy's cult was gonna show up right at the point where like Samson is kind of overcoming the virus and they kill Samson in front of Dr. Kelson, and then Dr. Kelson kind of like
Goes berserk.
unleashes a rage, on this cult. That's kind of how I thought it was gonna end. But I'm glad it wasn't that way because I feel like that wouldn't have been true to Dr. Kelson's character.
Yes.
Like someone who's very compassionate and like believes in healing and all of this stuff. So
The only time Dr. Kelson like wished death on anyone that didn't want it was basically when he was like, yeah, y'all should crucify Jimmy.
yeah.
Because he basically saw Spike and he was like, oh, y'all fucked with my guy. Y'all did something.
No,
I
that was an
agree.
interesting thought about the way that the movie ended, Jory, because I was thinking something similar. I was thinking that they were going to arrive around the same time that Samson was getting back, and he was just going to kill everybody.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Like
I thought
except
Samson was
Dr.
going to.
Kelson, and then maybe somehow Spike would be able to run away and go back to like his
Yeah.
little town or something.
Yes.
And I thought all of them were going to get killed by Samson instead.
I kind of thought what Spencer thought. I thought Samson was gonna decapitate Predator spinal decapitate Jimmy. I'm happy it didn't happen, which we were going to talk about the ending of how that happened though, because that's just not true to what the story was building up and the messages and themes that 28 years later Bone Temple was trying to say. I also thought that maybe Samson was going to follow them back to like the original town and they were going to kill him, thinking he was the alpha again, which still might happen very much, but. Let's talk about the ending of Jimmy Crystal. I loved the way that he went out. He went out basically because of his own cockiness. He basically is like telling them that this is the devil, and then all of a sudden when he turns it on him, he's like, "Oh, you flipped the tables on me," and it's like, but then he dies, or I guess he doesn't. We don't technically know that he dies. He gets crucified or upside down. And he basically at the ending thinks Samson is the devil and is forsaken. So he dies thinking that his God, his person, has forsaken him. So he dies like realizing that he was nothing.
Well, in 28 years later, the Bone Temple, do you think that Jimmy Crystal actually died?
I think for narrative purposes, he has to. I think if he comes back in the next one, then this whole movie was for nothing. Like, I think all the character development and character arcs of this movie wouldn't really hit if all of a sudden the next movie he's like, haha, I got out.
Somehow like survives through crucifixion. I would probably say he's dead. I can't imagine a world where he's not.
No, mostly because he had the puncture wound, he had the stab wound, and he's now stabbed in his arms, and Samson's right there. I think Samson's not going to let that guy get out.
Yeah,
I think it would probably be a better story if he died, but at the same time, I'm just thinking like we technically didn't see a body. They just kind of had like a jump scare scene.
That is very.
It wasn't completely.
Wait, who jump scared him? Was it Samson?
It was Samson.
It was Samson.
I think it was Samson.
It was so quick, and I knew it was coming. but it still got me.
His eyes were
There was
wandering
like
around too
three
much.
jump scares in this movie. I think that they all got me, and I
Yeah.
was like, I know it's coming, and
Yeah.
it still got me.
And I think they even like put some of them in the trailers, and I knew I was like, you're just it's a blank moment on a bunch of trees. I know something's gonna pop out of the trees, like,
clearly, yeah.
but still, yeah. I thought that way that ended was great. Okay. Let's talk about the ending of 28 years later. Let's talk about the ending of 28 years later, the Bone Temple. Wait, hold on. Shit, let me rephrase. Let's talk about that crazy ending of 28 years later, the Bone Temple. They did it. For once, they did it. They brought back Cillian Murphy. I knew when I saw that house, I was like, there it is. There's the house.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of it? What do you guys think of the ending?
I thought it was hype. It was cool to see that not only is he still around, like the guy's really just been living life like kind of regular. He's homeschooling his daughter.
Yeah, he's like, giving her a quiz. Like, come on, it's the apocalypse. You really got to quiz her
Yeah.
still?
Yeah, right.
Like I thought it was an interesting contrast between what the kids in Spike's town or village were kind of doing, where they were just ready for war from the time they were born, basically. And then we see the first guy basically to wake up in this apocalypse that we're shown. He's just living life like things are eventually going to go back to normal.
I think I love this. I feel like the 28 Days franchise is all about showing dichotomies. That there's one side of this coin and there's another side to this coin. And that's the same thing. What you just said, Spencer, I didn't even think of that. That the town is literally naming their kids after weapons. Spike. They're just, and their whole coming of age is going to kill humans. I mean, they're humans. And then you have someone who woke up in this and just saw the absolute brutality of humans and chose to do the opposite and chose to try to reform society in the way that it was and in a better way. I think those ideologies are going to clash in the next movie.
Yeah, I think they've really set up something insane for this next movie, and I'm hoping that they nail it.
Dude, 20 years later, the Bone Temple was so good. Oh my God, I could just fucking twerk or something.
Oh, Teletubby dance.
Yeah, I don't even know what
Yeah,
it was.
hit the dance.
I don't know. I love when he was like, there's these gigantic aliens with TVs on their stomach. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. That is terrifying.
I love the ending though, to bring back Jim from 28 Days Later. I'll be curious though if they decide to bring back I forget her name in the film.
Yeah, I was wondering. She wasn't there, right? Because it was her.
I didn't see her.
Was
I'm assuming
she?
That's his daughter.
That's his daughter. Yeah, the daughter wasn't there at the ending of the first movie, but it was her.
Yeah.
It was the mom and Jim. I don't remember Jim and the girl that's escaped. So I wonder if she's dead or she just wasn't there.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know.
I'm thinking
maybe
she's probably gone since like she didn't appear when they went outside either.
Yeah, I kind of feel like she's dead or something because I feel like he would have been like, "Go get your mom," or something like that. Like he was just like, "You know what to do."
Yeah, because like where else would she be? You know?
Yeah,
Like
and like she's outside or something. Like I feel like it'd be like, "Go get your mom. We gotta help." Like I don't think they're just gonna run down there and help without her. So I have a feeling she's dead. Whether or not that's a good story reason or because the actress couldn't come back or something. Regardless, though, I think I'm really excited to see how this develops. Mostly because in the first movie, the whole purpose is that Jim is traveling to find a cure, or where he thinks there could be a cure. And now Samson's going to walk in with his 28 inches and be like, yeah, I was cured.
you know,
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see like also like is it Samson the one that's gonna carry on the legacy of Dr. Kelson? Like probably,
I
right?
think so. Yeah. I think, because remember, Dr. Kelson was telling Samson everything he was doing. I'm giving you this pill because of this. I'm doing this because of this. I think Samson's going to remember all of this and be able to like try to go, spread the knowledge.
And
You
he
think
has
he's gonna
all those
go into
notes
his
and
little
Yeah.
quarters and start reading all his notes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
figure out how to spread the virus or cure the virus?
Spread the virus.
Right.
He does the
I mean,
opposite.
Low key, he's the only guy that could safely get close to a lot of the different infected
Exactly.
people without worrying about getting hurt.
I 100% that I think that's where it's going to go. I think Samson is going to be the one to start spreading the knowledge about the cure. But the question is, will people believe him or even let him get close, considering they know him as the alpha and he looks like an absolute monstrosity?
But I think it's interesting too, like as he kind of gained his humanity back, it seemed like he lost that sort of alpha control that he had over a
Yeah.
lot of the other infected in the area.
Yeah,
Because
he does not
before,
have that alpha control.
they basically all were at his beck and call. Like if he said move, everybody was moving.
Yeah.
Now I think they know too that something is kind of off.
Yeah, they and they, yeah, I think they see him. It's something with the virus, which real quick, no one's gonna believe me about this, but after 28 years later, I started to like conceptualize, because I do film, and so I write and I script things, and I had this idea of like, oh, like a zombie apocalypse, but how could you make it different? And I remember talking to Amos about this. I said, how cool would it be in a zombie apocalypse if there's a twist where like the zombies are seeing what they think they're killing as monsters, and that's why they're so enraged by killing them. But in reality, it's just normal humans. And then the movie fucking does it, and I'm like, God damn it! Like now they're gonna think I copied that shit.
Well, that's how you know it's a good idea if somebody else did it though.
Yeah, but they did it first.
Yeah, but it means you're thinking on the right track.
Yeah.
You just gotta get the next one.
Yeah.
I think, are we going to get an alpha versus alpha fight in the next 20 years later movie?
Yeah, who's the new alpha now?
There's got to be a new alpha.
Yeah. Somebody else has got to step up.
Ooh. What if it's Spike's father?
Is he big enough though? Like what?
But they said they say
the alpha.
we don't know.
Does he grow like into that?
We don't know exactly, but seeing what Samson looked like on the train, he's not the big alpha guy that he was. Yeah. But Kelson talks about the fact that there's like a bunch of cellular growth and everything, and like overgrowth. So I think it's just like certain people they just Hulk out basically.
You think it's Jimmy Crystal back from the dead, seemingly?
God, no, keep him dead. Keep him away. He can't. He can't. I hate that.
Guy's doing like backflips.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah.
He adds his like Teenage Mutant Ninja knowledge to what he's already got, and just becomes like
that would be ridiculous.
The Hulk, or not the Hulk. Remember at the end of like Arkham Asylum where Joker's like,
where he tightens out.
Titan Joker.
We got Titan Jimmy Crystal.
Titan Jimmy.
I am a little scared that they might go that route because he talks about getting an army. And what if he gets an army by being an alpha?
Yeah.
God damn it. God, no. Please. Because we don't know who jumped at him. Was it Samson or was it an infected? Because if it wasn't an infected, then he's an infected now.
I mean, they probably heard the music that guy was bumping from like 100 miles out.
Yeah. I was going to say, how did none of those infected like hear that and like show up? But whatever.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They were too busy trying to kill Samson.
They were probably just vibing in the trees.
yeah.
They're like, dang.
Yeah, dang, this is fire.
I haven't heard music like this in a while.
Yeah. What did you like better? 28 days later, 28 years later, or 28 years later? Oh, wait, actually, no, hold on. Let me rephrase. What did you like better? 28 years later or 28 years later, The Bone Temple?
Gotta say, The Bone Temple. Yeah. Like, dude, I don't know. Everything about this movie was so good. I loved it. But I feel like you said in the beginning, Spencer, like the 28 years later was so much about like world building and like setting up this story. So I feel like it's not really fair to compare them. But I don't know. This movie just hit so many good marks, dude.
Yeah, I agree. This was such a fun watch. Like, even though I haven't seen that many movies in 2026 yet, this has got to be up there for the movies this year. This movie was phenomenal. I got to go with Bone Temple over 28 years later.
Yeah, right now I haven't tied. I know that's such a cop out. I just love that first one so much, but I really have to rewatch it and see which one narratively. I think this one's probably narratively the better narrative, but the first one I just loved the coming of age part of it. So, yeah. But here's another big question: which one do you like, or rank the 28 Days franchise from worst to best?
I'd probably say 28 weeks later is last, and then honestly, I might have to say 28 Days Later, and then 28 Years Later, and then 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple is my number one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good list. I think the best one to me was Bone Temple. Second best, I got Years Later, 28 Years Later. Third best, 28 Days Later. And then my least favorite was probably 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah, I feel like we all have the same one, except for me. It's like number one and two are both the Years Later and Bone Temple. I just gotta, I don't know. They're so good. They're so good. If this third one comes together, this could be one of my favorite new trilogies because I'm looking at this as a trilogy now, I guess. But yeah, it's just like really knocking it out of the park, and this gets me excited for the Elden Ring movie because Alex Garland is writing that, so and directing that. So talking about fingers, the fingers in Elden Ring. I don't know. This guy is. Yeah,
Fingers.
the fingers. What if Jimmy shows up in the Elden Ring movie?
Oh my gosh, that'd be insane.
Dude, I'm kind of sad. I'm not sad that this movie was so good, but it's like now it's like I don't know what movies I'm really looking forward to more than this one that I saw.
Yeah, this is a great way. January is usually like 20 years later. The Bone Temple absolutely threw January up on its head because January is usually the month of like crap movies, and this one just showed like this is probably one of the best movies of the year, and it's in January. Like they really, yeah, this was
Like
awesome.
now I feel like I'm gonna have to wait till the end of the year when we get like Avengers Doomsday
and Dune Part
Odyssey.
3 and Odyssey.
Like
I don't know. There could be some. I know. I can't
there's
believe.
always some hidden gems. Like I didn't
Yeah.
think I was like last year. I didn't think Begonia was gonna be as good as I thought.
Or Marty Supreme, or
Honestly, as good as Sinners was, I didn't think it was going to be that.
No,
good.
yeah.
Like it was really great.
speaking of Sinners, which villain did you like better that Jack O'Connell played? Remick in Sinners or Jimmy in 20 Years Later, The Bone Temple?
Oh, that's a tough question. I feel like I'd have to rewatch Sinners again and then rewatch this again to like fully commit.
You got to choose one right now.
Oh man,
I think Jimmy in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple is the more like evil character. Somehow, even though he's
over the vampire.
over the literal vampire, yeah. But like I felt like his performance in Sinners was like peak because I
Yeah.
like you have to include like his musical performances were like so good too. Like the
Well, apparently not, because you put that at like number 10 for your year. So
yeah, you
Oh,
gave it like
it
a
was a good
2
year.
out of 10.
it
yeah,
was a good year. Good year movies. It was in my top
yeah.
10.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
pick. I'm gonna say Jimmy. I think Jimmy was the more terrifying villain. Although I really liked Jack O'Connell's Remick, his vampire. I think we got more obviously of Jimmy in this movie than we got of Remick in that one. But I just think Jimmy was one of the most terrifying villains I've seen in a movie in so long. Jimmy in 20 Years Later, The Bone Temple is one of the most terrifying villains I have seen in a film in such a long time.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm going to go Remick because the versatility of the role, like he wasn't just scary. Like he kind of had moments of like humanity where you
Yeah.
kind of question like even though he's not right, is his like skewed vision of like how things are supposed to come together? Like is this him trying to be good in what he understands? Whereas in this he's basically just pure evil
Yeah.
as like a cult leader. But I also think that 28 Years kind of has an advantage over having him like across two movies. The world building of the last movie kind of builds into his character in this one. But I also want to say before we like cut this off, I think the second movie, 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, makes 28 Years Later a better film now that you've seen more of, I guess, the overarching plot that they're trying to throw together.
Totally agree. And I already love the first one. Like
Yeah.
on rewatches, these could just be 5 out of 5s for me. Like, yeah, they're not perfect, but like dude, they're so good. I honestly just like it does everything I want in an apocalypse movie so great, or an apocalypse story. I just read The Stand by Stephen King, which is an apocalypse story, and it's scary, and there is like supernatural elements in it, but it's also about the humans. It's all about the humans, and that's what apocalypses are always supposed to be about: is humans. How will they react, and how will they form communities? And that's the terrifying part. Like, what if Jimmy comes across a nuclear bomb? Like he could totally just fucking bomb someone. Like it's all up for grabs. Like it's terrifying. So good. Yeah, these movies are so good.
Shout out Nia DaCosta, the director of this film.
Yeah.
The only
you
other
think
movie
Nia-
of hers that I've seen was Candyman.
Candyman.
Came out 5 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah.
Which I also really liked.
I did like Candyman, yeah. Who do you think should direct the next 28 Years Later movie? Nia DaCosta or Danny Boyle and Alex Garland?
Well, Alex Garland like wrote this one though, right?
He did write this, yeah. They wrote.
I mean, damn, that's tough.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Danny Boyle, just because like you bring back Killian. I feel like there's probably like a chemistry there that they would like to continue to work with. But I wouldn't be mad if Nia got that directing job.
I always feel like Danny should come back, Danny Boyle, just because like they started the franchise. So this is going to be the ending of the franchise. Finish it out. But I hope Nia DaCosta, Alex Garland, I hope all of them, everyone who's had a touch in this franchise, come together to really form the greatest ending to this franchise. Like I really hope it's like a collaborative effort, and it's not just like, I don't know, they'd like hire Steven Spielberg to come in and like direct the last one or something. It's like, what?
Yeah, I hope everybody gets a little bit of creative input on how they feel like this should end. Yeah. Because I don't know, this has really grown on me as like a franchise after this movie, especially because I really didn't know, based off the ending of the last one, how they were going to tie all of this together. But now that the vision is getting clear, like I really love this franchise.
Yeah,
dude. I didn't think I was I was in the same way. I didn't think like when they first started marketing 28 Years Later, like I didn't really think I was gonna enjoy it as much as I have. And then it got me to watch 28 Days Later, and I was like, yeah, it's a cool movie, I guess. But it's like everyone has grown on me.
Yeah.
Like the more that I see, I'm like, damn, dude, this is like.
It's funny because
literally,
I actually had like such a different time with what you just said. 28 Years Later's trailer, it's probably one of my favorite trailers of all time. It intrigued me so much with that Boots poem that I was like, dude, this looks like it could be one of my favorite movies of all time. And I was so hyped for it. I watched 28 Days Later and I was like, all right, it was good. Like, I don't have any nostalgia for it though. It's cool. It's good, but it's not what it's not like my favorite. And I watched it years later and I was like, dude, this is absolutely stellar. And then the trailer for this one came out and I was like, it looks good, but didn't give me that same feel of the 28 Years Later trailer. Like I was like, okay, it's cool. I'm already into the franchise now, but I'm not getting that like, holy shit, this trailer was amazing feel. And I watched the movie and I was like, oh, this is great. Yeah,
dude. Well, does the trilogy, the final one, does it have like a release date or a name or anything?
I don't know. Let me look that up.
Are they somehow gonna make this movie come out next year too?
Yeah, probably.
Right. I wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure they're probably gonna give it a year or two at least before they wrap it up.
But I gotta say, I'm still shocked at the way that they managed to get this movie out so quickly.
I'm glad that they did though. Like I didn't want to have to wait after seeing. Like I'm okay to wait now because it didn't feel like as much as of a cliffhanger. Like obviously I want to see how it ends, but I felt like the ending of 28 Years Later was just like right in the middle of the action.
Yeah, it left you with so many like questions, but this was more neatly wrapped up to me.
Yeah. It's like obviously I want to see where it goes, but it's not as like.
There's nothing really talking about it. I mean, it's been confirmed that there should be a third one. The question is, will and when will it come out, and how much money will this make? I'm a little worried about how much money it's going to make. Coming out in January and not being a huge franchise hit. And with people being mixed on the last one, I'm a little worried people aren't going to give this one. If I can give any advice, go see 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple in theaters. What a great way to start the year. What a great way to start the movie year for 2026.
Definitely.
Last question I have. What movie are you looking forward to the most in 2026?
Ooh. I feel like after all the marketing that they've done, I need to see what they're doing with this Avengers Doomsday. Not even because I necessarily think it's going to be like amazing. I just need to know, like, is this going to be the movie that saves the superhero genre like they've gassed it up to be, or is this going to be a Marvel flop and nobody's going to care about any more Marvel Cinematic Universe films?
If Doomsday flops, Marvel's done. The cinematic universe is done.
Yeah. I mean, they've thrown everything behind this movie, dude. Like over like a year of marketing for this film.
Yeah. I would say for me, I would say Doomsday for the same reason that you just said, Spencer, and then Dune Part 3 just because I love 1 and 2. Dune Part 2 is like one of my favorite movies of all time. So like I'm obviously hyped for Dune Part 3. I'm also excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day, but again, kind of weary about that. And then I'm sure there's going to be some absolute just sleeper hits that I'm not going to know about, like Marty Supreme and Begonia, and I'm going to watch it and be like, wow. So I don't know, but Dune Part 3 and Doomsday are probably two of my most anticipated.
I think the Odyssey is up there for me, even though like we know what the story is. I'm always intrigued when it's Christopher Nolan because he goes all out.
Yeah. But it's not historically accurate.
Yeah. And I've never seen any of the Hunger Games movies, but I gotta say the
That
trailer
trailer?
for the new one looks really good.
It looked really good. I literally turned to Bailey because Bailey's a huge fan of the Hunger Games, and I looked at her and I was like, that actually looked fire.
I know. I was like, this is a great trailer. And I don't ever say that really about like any trailers. Like I feel like trailers nowadays, like I think we've definitely talked about it. They're not.
Yeah.
They're just
How did you-
movies, but
Dude, how did you manage to not see any of the Hunger Games movies?
Yeah, that's actually crazy. I mean, he hasn't seen Star Wars, he hasn't seen Hunger Games. I think Jory just has an aversion to classic movies.
I mean, I haven't seen every Star Wars.
honestly, it's probably like one of those things where it's like if I missed the boat at the beginning and now there's like so many and I just don't ever like want to just sit down and watch like a whole
Have you seen?
I kind of get that.
Have you seen the Harry Potter movies?
Yeah, I've seen those.
No, I haven't seen those.
Jeez.
I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
All right. So anyway, that's the ending of the podcast because I'm about to have a fucking flip right now. I can't believe you actually. just said
Also,
that.
Disclosure Day. You sent us that trailer.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Spielberg
It looks
movie.
very intriguing.
That looks cool.
Yeah,
Just because I want to know what it's about.
yeah.
But
I like her
it might not-
clicking.
It might not be that good.
Yeah. What was that like mummy movie?
Oh,
They
the new
showed-
Mummy movie. That looked interesting.
Looked like
but
it could be cool.
It kind of just gives me like cliche possession horror movie now, but it's a mummy possessing her. Like that's what it kind of reminds me of.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I just like mummies, but I thought it was a
Yeah.
cool trailer.
I don't know. I just kind of want Brendan Fraser to come back and start fighting mummies from the old movie. You guys saw the movies?
I don't know if I did.
I did not. I saw The Whale, though, with Brendan Fraser.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking stupid bitch. Fuck you. How do you not see the mummy movies? All right. This is actually
Seems
fun.
like at least one or two, but like I don't know. I don't know if I've seen all of them. Just like random bits and pieces.
I saw The Whale, though.
Shut the fuck up. Sadie Sink.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss of words after just hearing that you haven't seen Lord of the Rings. Jeez.
It's
Anyway.
on. Yeah,
I've watched them, but I don't think I watched them in order.
What? How do you not watch the Lord of the Rings in order?
Like, dude, they would just be like on, and like I
Oh.
would watch them, but then it's like, did I watch The Hobbit randomly, like in between the Lord of the Rings, and then like honestly, the plot got all jumbled up in my head. I'm not completely, I
You
don't
gotta-
completely know what was happening.
That's terrible. That's actually terrible. Yeah. Anyway, back to the plot because I'm about to fucking flip shit at you guys. Yeah. 20 years later, the Bone Temple. Great start. Great start.
we'll see where it
yeah.
goes, man.
Yeah.
2026 is off to a strong start.
Yeah. 28 boners later. Jory was not lying.
And I told you it was a good one.
There, one thing the biggest critique I had about 28 years later, the Bone Temple, was that they covered Samson up for about half of it. Like I needed to see all 28 inches. Like they did. They forced me to do it, to watch it in the first 28 years later. I need to just continue seeing it in 28 years later, the Bone Temple. 28 years later, the Boner Temple did not have enough boners.
I probably got a substantial
Jeez.
amount of Alpha Dong.
Dude, oh wait, hold on. I honestly thought they were gonna do this, and I was gonna die laughing if they did it when Dr. Kelson takes the morphine and he like falls asleep and then he opens his eyes and he looks up. I thought there was gonna be just a dick, just Samson standing above him and just his dick just hanging down. He's be like, I don't know. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
Funny.
I thought it would be. I'd be like, damn, that's kind of funny, but it's all right.
I thought we were gonna get a jump scare at that point, but I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah.
He was just off doing his own thing.
The cinematography also was fantastic in 20 Years Under the Bone Temple. There was a couple shots of like the Bone Temple Palace, and I literally was like, this is cinema. Like this looks so good. So yeah. Great start to the year. I'm really excited to see where else the year
Only
has in store.
downhill from here.
Only downhill. So, all right, Jory, why don't you sign us off? You started it.
I don't even remember how to do that. You didn't ask, but that was our review of 28 Years Later, The Boner Temple, and excited to see where it goes.
You know where the boner.
This is on excited.
Yeah. Excited to see where the Boner Temple goes. Yeah, Jory, I think you saw the wrong movie, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the right one.
Yeah. Wait, where did you watch it, Benny? Did you go to the theater to watch this one?
It wasn't in.
I don't think it was online.
Yeah, Benny.
It was only in theaters.
Yeah, I don't think you could watch this one online. Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
They don't ask your age to see it first.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next review will be, but
Yeah, we actually gotta like update our calendar now because we've gone through all of our movies.
Yeah.
I don't even know, man.
Yeah.
I
don't even know what's coming out next.
Movie, Send Help, that Sam Raimi movie.
Oh yeah, the one that looks terribly, but maybe not terrible.
I feel like it's gonna be solid.
I don't know. The first part of the trailer when in the office looks absolutely horrendous. But
I mean, I like Sam Raimi,
yeah.
so
Guy knows how to make a Spider-Man movie.
He does know how to make a Spider-Man
That's
movie.
for sure.
He does not know how to make a Doctor Strange movie, and he does know how to make some good Evil Dead movies. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
yeah.
I'll probably see it.
Oh, I mean,
I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it. I'm just curious if it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
So, well, maybe what our next video will end up being, check back for our talk about the Oscars when they get announced for each category. Because we're going to talk about who we think should
3 days,
win.
I think, or 4 days.
I will be in a different country, but I will try to hop on.
Different continent.
Different continent. I'm going to be across the fucking globe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't get
All
eaten by a shark or an alpha.
Watch out for the spiders and spiders.
You know, if there's anywhere that the rage virus would break out, it would be Australia while I'm there. So,
Yeah. Good luck, buddy.
yeah.
Yeah, stay safe, guy.
I'm not coming back alive.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, you didn't ask.
Yep.
But peace.
You didn't ask, but Jory watched the wrong Boner Temple.
Still doing it.
We're still doing it.